Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. We are going to dive right in with your reading. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. I am very happy to have you here. These are general readings, so you just take what resonates and leave the rest, all right? So for Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. Okay, for Pisces. Oh, wow. You guys are getting Dragonfly on the bottom of the deck, and it says, have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to Spirit. You have patience, slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. And you have Sun, open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. Pisces, you've been working on this for some time. You know, this is an energy that has been showing up for quite a while. And there's definitely, you are coming into a period of love and abundance. I mean, you've gotten the abundance card many times. There's actually an abundance card in this deck. And I thought of that when I grabbed it this morning, because I thought, I wonder if Pisces is going to get it. Well, you got the Sun, and the Sun is abundance, right? The Sun is an abundance of everything wonderful, happiness, sunshine, love, vitality, well-being, clarity. And it's like everything comes in time, you know, we don't, it's interesting because, well, let's keep going. But, you know, if you've ever watched a dragonfly, there's a dragonfly on this card. I can never tell how clear the cards are for you guys, but if you've ever watched a dragonfly weather vane, it's a pretty remarkable thing. I've actually completely zoned out on that before. And it's pretty amazing. You know, the dragonfly will sit on the end of a blade of grass, and you just don't know how it's holding on. And the wind will blow, and as the wind blows, the dragonfly will sort of change slightly in direction. And it's almost like listening to the universe, right? I actually had a moment, well, anyway, I had a moment with a dragonfly. But no, I've always been a little bit fascinated by dragonflies. They are symbolic of transition and change. And so whenever one catches my eye, I feel like, oh, you know, that's a sign from the universe. And the way that the dragonfly responds to the wind, the light, the blade of grass, you know, it is allowing itself to sort of be at the mercy of, you know, the universe and the conditions and the circumstances. And, you know, it somehow knows when to take flight. You know, it somehow knows what direction to go. It somehow knows all of these things. And I feel like, Pisces, that's a little bit what you've been doing. You may have heard no, or you may have had things not work out, or you may have had, you know, some things go in a different direction than you might have liked if you got to choose. But there usually comes a point in life where all those things that worked out and didn't work out begin to kind of make sense. And I feel like it is this energy of going, okay, well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't go where I thought it was going to go. Well, that didn't happen that way. Well, these are all pieces of information that help us decide when it is time to take flight, when it is time to go all in and invest. And I feel like, Pisces, you have been through a series of experiences that have helped you to gather the information and sort of inform yourself. So when an opportunity for abundance or for a great amount of joy, clarity, peace, well-being, you know, all of those things comes, it's like you have the presence of mind to know it when you feel it and when you see it. And to trust it and to listen to your intuition and allow yourself to be guided by it. Just like the dragonfly. But it takes time. It takes time to gather all that information. Sometimes it takes time to figure out what we don't want. And sometimes it takes time to figure out that something that we think we want may not be meant for us. But there is maybe something that is meant for us that really resonates deeply with our soul, that we want a whole lot more, or brings a whole lot more happiness or joy to us than the thing we thought we wanted. You know, there's definitely some energy around that of just sort of listening to the universe and knowing when to kind of spring into action or to seize the opportunity for happiness and abundance here. Okay. You have this nurturing and caring, with Raphael, and then you have Renoir celebrating life, and then you have Seurat making a point. I'm really drawn to the Seurat. This is, I think this is Sunday at La Grande Jatte, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. My daughter's an art history major, so I've been to many, 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 many museums. But Seurat is a pointillist, and all of these, this entire painting is composed of tiny little dots. He just goes da, 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 and he makes this painting. It's a phenomenal thing to see up close. It really is pretty mind-blowing. And it's one of those things, I mean, even as close as I could possibly get it to my camera, you really cannot see the points. Because, you know, obviously this is a reproduction, but it's the sum total of all of these things. And some things are shadow, and some things are light, and some things we come together, and sometimes we're by ourselves, and sometimes, you know, there's a lot that goes into everything. There's a lot that goes into every moment, into every combination of things in our life, every period of time, every chapter of our book. And it's the sum total of all of those things that creates the whole picture. And not all of those things are always sunshine and rainbows, you know? And, but yet, you know, I say this all the time. I actually was more kind of, well, I don't know. I had a pretty, the main part of my career as a nature photographer, I photographed in black and white. And I was like always just blown away by what could be captured in just that black and white and the spectrum in between it, and the texture and the life and the light quality and the emotion and the feeling and just all of it. I was just, I mean, especially here in Florida with the palms and the sun and just everything that we have here, the birds, oh my God. But anyway, it's sometimes we're not dealing with a whole lot, but we're learning a whole lot. You know, sometimes we don't have every color or every opportunity or everything at our disposal to use to create something. But it's about sometimes looking at what we do have and finding the abundance in it and saying, okay, that is enough. Let me explore this. Let me be curious about this. Let me see what I can create, what I can find, what I can capture within this moment, within what I'm working with right here. And when we do that, it becomes kind of this celebration of life. No matter where we are, no matter what is happening, no matter if our, you know, if it feels like our dreams are coming true or not. And that energy brings about more of the same. That energy brings about more things to celebrate. That energy brings about more abundance, more joy, more happiness, because what we focus on grows. And you have this nurturing and caring. And it's like, I am really stricken by how this is a woman holding this very vulnerable baby. And it is almost like us with our own kind of like inner child, right? Where it's like, you know, when we acknowledge the hurt parts of us or the wounded parts of us or the parts of us that, you know, we don't always let out into the light of day, or we like suppress, or we don't want to show somebody, or we don't want anyone to see, or whatever. When we nurture them, when we care for them, when we examine them, when we allow them to be without resistance, without shame, without guilt, when we just say to ourselves, okay, this is part of me. What can I learn from this? How can I, you know, work with this turn it into something that is a strength instead of a vulnerability. And I feel like you have actually been doing a bit of that. And I feel as though, you know, now is this moment where all of these points that you've been putting out there are kind of coming together to create something. And you have, the potential anyway, to have the vision to really see what this is, or to see it coming together, or to see it starting to fill in and happen for you here. I definitely feel the presence of another person here. Okay. You have escape, ego, and gossip. You know, Pisces, there is, I feel like you're dealing with someone here, or you were dealing with someone, or you were dealing with someone, but they're still in your energy, kind of a situation where I feel like this person really wasn't, as much as you tried to nurture and care for this person, as much as you may have tried to, wow, I just had like some kind of breakthrough thought. I'm going to try to share it with you, but I'm not always good at sharing right when I get it. You know how when somebody shows us their red flags, we have this energy of, well, I can handle that. Well, I can handle that. Well, okay, I can handle that. Well, and then something happens where there is something, I feel like a tower moment, and this person abandons us. Like, we've been trying to be compassionate, we've been trying to be caring, we've been trying to love them through that moment, okay, or through that pain or that wounding, and then it sort of blows up in our face and it sort of backfires, and we end up holding their wounding. We end up with a wound from their wound, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying? We made the choice to carry it at the point where we overlooked it, where we made the decision to not look at it. This is, I don't know what this is, but it's like, I get these moments like this sometimes, especially after I've been meditating. And I'm getting that here. And there is somebody where it's like you had some kind of, but when we recognize it, you know, we always have the opportunity to give it back, to return it to sender, to say, this is not mine, this is not my wounding, you're going to have to deal with this yourself, because I'm no longer willing to carry your wound for you. And it's like, maybe it's okay for you to carry the wound when you're getting a payoff, when they're still plugged into the connection, when you're still relating to one another. But when they leave and they leave you alone holding this wounding in this sad, sad way that they really are inside themselves, right? Then it's not okay anymore. And then we're sitting here trying to process this wounding that isn't ours, that we can't trace back to its origin, that we can't say, okay, this is what happened. Sometimes it triggers a wounding within us, right? Especially if we have a fear of abandonment or a fear of intimacy or whatever. It can trigger that wounding within us, which gives us an opportunity to see further what we can heal within ourselves to overcome our own triggers, right? And to become stronger and more at peace in this world and in this life. But at some point, we're sitting here holding the wounding, and we want them to come back because we don't want to hold the wounding anymore, or, you know, we don't want to do it by ourselves, or because we're so sad. When really, they made the decision a long time ago not to process anything emotionally. One of the biggest things that we do as people, especially people that are perpetually introspecting and looking for healing, is that we think everyone wants to heal. We think that if we offer our help to someone who is sad, that we will help them find their way to the light. But you have to want to find your way to the light. And the fact of the matter is, we are dealing with a lot of people in this world that cannot admit or acknowledge that they need help getting to the light, or that they're not in the light. And we see it through hypocrisy. We see it in many ways. And I'm sure you all have seen it. I'm sure you all have experienced it. And it's very unfortunate. So the thing is, when one person is willing to grow, and one person does the work, and one person heals and stuff before they get in a relationship, or, you know, they're willing to introspect, they're willing to take it on, their actual reason for being here, or their actual higher level understanding of life is evolvement, you know, expansion, growth, those kinds of ideas and ideals, then what happens is we sit there holding the thing, and maybe we had our own thing triggered that maybe we have to look at, but we're kind of by ourselves. And it's when we need someone sort of almost the most to be there for us. So there's something around this that is, I'm getting like, so be careful about the red flags that you decide to overlook, because at the end of it, you may be holding that red flag by yourself. You may be holding that energy alone. And I don't know what that is about. I don't know what that is. I usually try to like let things form more, or I journal about it or whatever to get to a more secure place with it before I start talking about it. But this really feels like part of this reading, and it hit me like lightning. So whatever, you know, whatever you can make of that, trust your own intuitive self, you know, where that takes you, where that idea opens up for you. And, you know, let it be whatever it is. But clearly someone here we have ego, escape, and gossip. People only believe what they want to believe. So if you're dating someone and they have people around them that are telling them things about you, and they make the decision to believe it, it may have absolutely nothing to do with you or how they feel about you. It may just be they are insecure and they need the comfort of this established group around them, or they're too afraid to go against the grain to defend a situation, or to have a different opinion, or to have an opinion, period, other than what's being thrust upon them. And especially if they're in a situation that is challenging their ego, that is challenging their pride, there can be this real big sense of overwhelm and I need to escape. This is a situation I can't handle, and I don't really know how to get out of it. And you know, when you're in your ego, you're not looking for the highest and best answer. You're listening to the loudest voice, that first voice that comes in your head, that's very, very reactionary, that's very, very like, you know, I don't want to be alone, or, you know, these people are talking like this about that person. I can't be seen with that person, or I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm having a relationship with that person. You see what I'm saying? There's this energy of almost like the two things playing together, where it's like, if I, how do I want to say this? If I'm already overwhelmed by having feelings in a relationship, or being pushed to my edge of where I am comfortable being vulnerable, and then someone says something, I may even take that as an excuse to escape. Like, oh, I heard this about you. Okay, well, I couldn't stick around. I had to go. But really, it's so superficial, and it's so like, you know, I care so much about what other people think, or I care about not getting hurt, or I care about not being vulnerable. Is that someone you actually really want to be in a relationship with? And you know, it's like sometimes we go, yeah, but I love that person. But think about what you're saying. You know, it's like you can love someone for who they are, and you can see the beauty in someone. I actually just had a conversation with a Pisces about this. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, you can love someone, but when they are in that energy, you know, a lot has to change for that person to be able to say, you know, I want to connect. I want to have emotional contentment. I want to be vulnerable, because emotional contentment requires vulnerability. You can't have emotional contentment with another person without vulnerability. And if you're dealing with someone who's way in their ego, there's no emotional contentment there. if you look back on it, there's always this, you know, there may be moments where you're like, oh, wow, this is so good. I'm so happy. I feel so great. But there are a lot of moments of instability where you're not quite sure where you stand, or where you're fighting to be seen, or fighting to be heard, or fighting to matter, or fighting to be a priority, or, you know what I mean, fighting for the connection. And when you're in a true partnership, when there is reciprocity, which is on the bottom of the deck here, both people are in it. Both people are seeking understanding. Both people are seeking to fight for each other and the connection. It's interesting because I feel that this person in the end was very indecisive, was very much like, I don't know what I want. You know, they may have even said, you know, I have feelings for you, or I've been really happy in this time we've spent together, but like, I just don't know what I want, or I just don't think I'm ready, or, you know, whatever the excuse is to sort of sit on the fence, or to not fully commit, or to fully acknowledge something even. And I think the indecision is so telling, because if someone is really just completely in their ego, or is really just, if there are no feelings, or if there is nothing else, there's really nothing to be indecisive about, right? This card literally says, I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. A lot of times we think that people are doing things without conscious awareness. We think that, you know, well, if they knew how much it was hurting me, they would stop. But then, like, even if you tell them, wow, this is really hurting me, or, you know, that you're making me feel like this, or this situation, I can't stick around in this situation because it's too heavy for me, or it's too hard for me, or it's too painful for me, and then they don't change, you know what I mean? They know, you know what I mean? And even if you don't say, a lot of times people know. And if they don't know, why don't they know? Because they're not employing compassion or empathy. Because they're not putting themselves in your shoes. They're not considering you. And when it comes to reciprocity, at the very basic level, reciprocity is compassion and empathy. At the root core of reciprocity, it is, you know, I care equally about your feelings and your needs being met as you do about mine. It isn't even about how much time we're putting in or how much energy we're putting in. It is this energy of, I consider the effect this decision or this choice will have on you as much as I consider the effect it will have on me. You know what I mean? And so I feel like you were dealing with someone who was very fair weather, and you have definitely someone is coming in. You definitely have, I feel, love coming in. Whether it is this past person who has undergone some kind of transformation or not, I'm not sure. We're going to go into the tarot, and we're going to look at their thoughts, their feelings, their intentions, you know, and their actions, their potential actions. But right here, right now, I feel almost like a brick wall with someone. It's like, no matter how much I try to reach you, no matter how much effort and energy I put into this, and it's almost like there's almost an understanding of that from the get-go, from the beginning, on some level, in some way. I'm not really sure what that's about. It is almost like there is some kind of lesson here, or there's almost like, it's like there's something here really trying to come through. I think it's your breakthrough, not mine, Pisces. So maybe whatever that may help get you started or something, but I think it's something for you. But I feel like you have something. I feel like there was this energy of, even with all the signs, even with everything that happened, even with everything that you saw or you learned or you knew, things not working out was still shocking, or it was still unexpected. And I think it took you a while to reconcile with that. I think you're about to understand it fits into a bigger picture. This is a small part of a much larger picture for you. And you have this inseparable card. Our love is always there despite the distance. So I can take that one of two ways. I can take that as the past person wanting to come back around and saying, you know, I never lost this connection with you. I always wondered how you were doing. I always was thinking about you, whatever. But I can also see this as a new person coming in who, you know, isn't going to let anything come between you and them, or they're not going to let external interference play a part or a role, or even their own ego, when it comes to acting erratically, or not being willing to give, or not showing up with empathy and compassion. I feel like you are on the precipice of some kind of new experience here with this inseparable energy, where, you know, there is a connection coming together where it is prioritized over other things. And this is something, it's like you've been waiting for it. All right, let's dive into the tarot, shall we? Guys, we are all just walking each other home. That is my favorite quote from Ram Dass. We're just figuring this thing out together. Gosh, you guys, and the King of Swords, man. I'm wondering, do you have an air sign coming in, or are you already dealing with an air sign? You also have the Emperor here. Pisces, I just see you happy and in a relationship. So in this deck, there are masculine and feminine kings of every suit. And the feminine king of every suit is, for me, it is talking about understanding how to receive things, right? Understanding, you know, getting to a place of, you know, mastering how to open up to let something in. And with the King of Swords energy, there is this, it kind of goes back to yesterday's reading with the words and the thoughts, you know, the King of Swords just kept coming out yesterday. But it is also, it's almost like learning how to take things, or learning how to, see things clearly, or allow things to be, to not read anything into anything, but instead to just take it at face value and take it as, okay, this is what this person is saying, this is what they mean. And granted, you know, if someone's actions don't match their words, then clearly that is not true, right? But sometimes we don't give people the chance to show us what their actions are, because we are so looking for and focused on, you know, these things that hurt us in the past and avoiding them. I just got love is a choice. And then you have this Emperor on the bottom of the deck. And this can represent Aries season, which we are in. It can also represent the divine masculine energy. I'm going to clarify this. The Emperor. Can I get one on the Emperor, please, for Pisces? Jeez, Pisces. Seriously, I feel like these cards are coming back. So, Pisces, I feel like you have someone coming in who means what they say and who is able to communicate. And they are someone, I feel like, who has a certain level of wisdom or experience. And this person represents the opportunity to close out a past cycle of difficulty. But it also requires us to release the kind of the energy or the thoughts or the self-criticism or whatever that we're telling ourselves. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, this is how your reading started yesterday. It's like a cycle that really wants to close, where you're really beating yourself up mentally. And, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. With the Eight of Wands, this is something that's coming in very quickly, I feel like. And there is a huge emphasis on communication, especially with the King of Swords and the Emperor and the Eight of Wands. There's you know, it's a back and forth communication. It is a balanced energy. It is a reciprocal energy. Underneath that is the Hierophant. And underneath that is the Six of Wands. So it is some kind of opportunity to have success at some kind of commitment. What is the Lovers? Look at that. If you have a clear mind, these cards came out yesterday. This is literally about, yeah, I feel like there is this energy of not kind of projecting past pain onto a situation, like keeping a clear head, keeping wisdom here at your side, truth and clarity, without letting this past suffering interfere, because this is an opportunity to build some kind of legacy. For others of you, this is a situation that has been really difficult, that you just don't want it to close out, or somebody doesn't want it to close out, could be your person. And you haven't been speaking for a long time, but I feel like this person may be coming back around to say, you know, I want to build something that matters here with you, or I see this potential, or I'm ready to make this choice. And with the King of Swords in the feminine form, it is, you know, really listening to these words, hearing what is said and hearing what is not said, and allowing these words to illuminate for you your own response. Or let's see, let's go deeper. What is in this person's thoughts? What is in this person's thoughts? What is in Pisces person's thoughts? You have the Three of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like for some of you, there is some kind of reconciliation on this person's mind. They're thinking about their own happiness, or they're thinking possibly that they were happier when they were with you. Wow. And now you're getting the masculine form of the King of Swords. So this person, I feel like with the Five of Swords, with the King of Wands, and with the Nine of Swords, there's definitely this energy of where this person's head also gets involved and not in a really positive way. It's where this person gets really mentally confused, and the confusion comes from a place of fear. I feel like this person, there's something about where they feel like if it is the right choice, there will be the absence of fear. And that just really isn't true. You know, I mean, not for most people, I don't think. You know, when we're confident about something, yes. But whenever we're risking emotional vulnerability, it always takes courage. Fear is always an element involved in it. And so it's kind of like when somebody is waiting for something to be perfectly clear or without fear or without any confusion, you know, then they're going to be waiting a very long time, right? So there's kind of like this person's own way of thinking kind of gets in the way of them going after what they want and of them taking action here. But with the King of Swords, I feel like it's almost this energy of enough is enough. Like I've been trapped in this energy of confusion, of not knowing what I want or not being sure about it or being afraid even of what I want for long enough. It's not a sustainable energy. And you know, there is just this, with the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups, you make this person very happy. Or this person feels very happy around you. And there is this almost acknowledgement in the mental body that you are unconditionally loving, or that you are very giving, or that you are, you know, someone who would be harmonious to go through life with, is how it's coming across to me, where it's like, you know, you're not going to be unpredictable and you know, kind of sometimes hot and sometimes cold, or, you know, you hold this steady ground, and it is a ground in emotion, in care and compassion. And that can be a lot for some people who aren't really willing to go there or don't know how to reciprocate that. But I feel like this person has come to terms a lot more with their own cups energy since having met you, or if this is a new person, they will through the process of meeting you. There is something about celebration, or, you know, when we're around someone that makes us feel good, we kind of always want to be around that person. We want to spend more and more and more time with that person. And there's just sort of this energy with the Three of Cups, like, that I feel around that, like that. So it's almost like silencing the mind and just accepting that, like, well, for whatever reason, I'm always happy when I'm around Pisces. And maybe that's enough. Maybe I just need to focus on my happiness and how I'm feeling when I'm with Pisces. And I'm emotionally content when I'm with Pisces. And maybe that is how I will silence the fear and have the courage to go after what I really want. Just that knowledge, just that acknowledgement. Let's see what's in their heart space. The Two of Cups. You have three major arcana with the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So you have the Devil, the World, and the Emperor. There is some stuck energy in this person's heart, or there is, but I feel like it's a cycle that's completing. And this can also be like codependency, or, wow, yeah. Some kind of toxicity when it comes to love, almost like more of an obsession type situation, or something that love, you know, trusts all things, hopes all things, endures all things, you know what I mean? And when we are not of that secure belief system, we, you know, we can become like anxious or avoidant. We can become codependent. We can become a lot of different things, or we can adopt a way of dealing with something that's not serving our highest and best, or the relationship's highest and best, or our partner's highest and best. And that's just what I see here. But with the Star card and the High Priestess, there's a lot of healing around here. And with the Fool card on the bottom of the deck, I mean, guys, look at all the major arcana. This person has gone through a major heart opening, heart awakening. Whether this is someone new or it's not, this can be someone who has done just as much work as you have and is showing up to the table having completed all their past cycles, free and clear and ready to dive in completely into a relationship. And that can be someone from your past, or that could be someone new. With the Emperor and the Full card energy, though, this person is in their light energy. They're not carrying a bunch of burdens from the past. They have healed them. They're listening to their intuition. They're, you know, even when their own maybe tendency to be codependent, I do feel like it's more of a codependency here, especially the way that the stems of these tulips are intertwined. It's kind of like, you know, even when, you know, I want to just sort of like spend all my time with you, or, you know, need to be near you to be happy, or, you know, whatever this is, whatever this past situation is, I know how to kind of override it now. I've learned how to be bigger than it, or how to be stronger than it, and how to tap into my intuition and tap into this energy that of the work I've done healing. And you know, whenever we go through that period of reprogramming ourselves, like we have had a way of processing life or navigating life that maybe, let's just say it's codependent, right? When we gain other tools and we learn another way and we heal some of those wounds that caused us to be that way, the first time we get in a relationship, it's a real eye-opener. It's a real learning situation, right? Because we haven't really exercised those tools. We haven't really practiced that muscle. It's not our go-to way of dealing with something. It's something that has to be practiced. It has to be, you know, gone through multiple times for us to start to sort of feel comfortable with it. And sometimes, you know, we can come together and we can have that triggered and we can fall into those old patterns, and then it's, you know, codependency is not sustainable because it's imbalanced. And, you know, then we fall apart, and then we have to heal, and then we come back together and renewed with a renewed sense of, yes, okay, I can do this. I can show up for this. But you'll know if that's the energy of your person, because they will say things like that. They will let you know, and their actions will be that way of like, man, you know, I was codependent in the past and I thought I had it figured out. I thought I had it worked out, but something triggered me and I got codependent again in this relationship and it got all out of whack, and I'm really sorry, and I've healed and I've worked on it, and I think I'm really ready to try it again. I'm ready to listen to my intuition. I'm ready to trust in the healing work that I've done, and that things do work out, and I have this return of hope and optimism, and I'm not feeling insecure and anxious, and I don't need you to like constantly reassure me that everything is going to be okay. I'm ready to close out this cycle, and I'm ready to take this leap of faith completely now. And with the Emperor energy and the Fool energy, this person has wiped the slate clean, and they are, you know, they are in a very powerful place in their heart space. They are ready to take on, you know, a complete leap of faith. And with the Two of Cups, it's like, in this person's heart of hearts, you are their person, you know? So whether this is a brand new situation, which it very well could be with the Fool card, and it could be someone telling you, you know, yeah, in past relationships, I actually was codependent, or I, you know, chose a lot of toxic relationships, and, you know, I had to really go through the process of figuring out why I did that, and, you know, and get to a better place so that, you know, I can be in a healthy relationship now. Yeah, Ace of Swords. See, this is something about someone communicating or bringing to light or bringing clarity to what is in their heart. So there may be a conversation for some of you with the past person about what they're feeling, or what's in their heart, or what the healing has been, or the cycle that they have just recently closed out. And I think you'll relate. I think it will be similar. With the Star card here, there is something about fate. And with the High Priestess, you know, that's you. So now we have the Emperor and the Empress here. So I asked, what is this person's intentions? Okay. And you have the Five of Cups with the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So this person's intentions, I feel like, is, you know, you can see this person moving away from this past of broken hearts or the things that didn't work out. And you can see that this person has these two flowers on this stick that they're sort of protecting, that they're sort of holding up, that they're keeping out of the water. And, you know, I feel that energy of, you know, I just want to protect this. I want to let the past be the past. I want to leave behind my sorrows, my, you know, my sad feelings about it. I want to leave behind this energy that things don't work out. And I want to just covet and cultivate this chance, this opportunity that I have here. With the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, there's a heavy emphasis on reciprocity and success. And I've seen several sixes. You have the Lovers, the Six of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. There's been a lot of sixes. And this is talking about coming into harmony, coming into unity with another person or with all that is the universe. And with the Empress, it's like, I feel this person sees you as the one. This Empress is obviously pregnant, and there may even be this energy of like, I really want to have children with this person or build a family with this person. But I know it's like, I may have messed up all of these others, but I know the opportunity that I have here, and I know that I want to have success, and that I'm willing to really give it everything that I have in order to make it be successful. I'm willing to really make sure that I bring my side of the equation, which is really all we can do in a relationship, is show up for it ourselves. We can't control the other person. And so I feel like you're dealing with someone who's a heck of a lot more mature, whether it's this person who is from the past or whether it's someone new. This feels like a very mature energy, or someone who is willing to acknowledge the past. You know, a lot of times when an ex comes back, they kind of just want to gloss over it, or they don't really want to talk about it, or they don't really want to say, oh yeah, I was totally messed up back there, or whatever. Or even if they do, they want to do it in sort of a lighthearted manner that they just sort of gloss over it. This is really, there's a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of true wisdom here. And it's a heartfelt outpouring, I feel like, of, you know, you're going to know and you're going to see that this person is capable of emotional maturity on some level. And it feels pretty significant. What actions is this person going to take? This person's going to put the work in, Pisces. Yep. So I feel like this person feels like this is a dream come true for them, or this is a situation that is, first of all, they're highly attracted to the situation. I feel that this is someone who has spent some time fantasizing about what their ideal person would be like. And I feel like, Pisces, you have a lot of those traits. And I feel like you really do bring a lot of happiness and a lot of joy to this person. There is even this feeling of bringing your own kind of like insight and wisdom and illumination to this person that they did not really have before. With the Seven of Cups, it's like, you know, I used to tell my kids all the time when they were little, like, if I could have, you know, gone to a catalog and ordered you out of a catalog and gotten exactly what I wanted, I would have gotten you. I would have picked you. And that's this feeling I get with this Seven of Cups. It's like, you know, out of all the stars there are, out of all the loves, out of all the choices, out of all the dreams, out of all the fantasies, it's like, I would have picked you. If I were ordering you, you would be the one that I want. You would be the one that I would choose. And here you are standing in front of me. And it's, you know, I'm going to be the fool. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to take the leap of faith. And with the Eight of Pentacles, this is someone who's packing their lunch. This is someone who's ready to do the hard work. They're ready to actually show up, and they're ready to do the heavy lifting. And I feel this is a very transformative relationship for both of you, actually, with this Eight of Pentacles. It's like actually having a partner to do the work with, actually having someone who shows up in this energy of being willing to work hard. It changes the whole experience for both of you. All right, Pisces, let me get you some message cards. For Pisces dealing with a water sign. You guys are getting, I saved your texts and messages. Friendship, this friendship is leading to more. Mastery, you've learned a spiritual lesson. Go slow, take time to get to know each other. I feel so drawn to you, and I feel the sexual tension. If you're dealing with a fire sign, Pisces, you're getting, I am recovering, patience, everything will unfold in divine timing. I'm starting to understand our connection, abundance. You've done the work, abundance flows to you now. I can't get enough of you. That's that inseparable energy. Protected, you are safe and divinely guided. Just being near you is intoxicating. Rejection, this rejection is actually divine protection. Second chance, this relationship deserves a second chance and I want you back. Well, dang, that's pretty clear. All right, Pisces, if you are dealing with an earth sign, you're getting, it's time for me to heal now. I can't stop thinking about you. Lesson, this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. I hide my feelings, strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. I won't let you down. Addiction, an addiction is affecting this relationship. You know, we did see that devil in the heart space, and that can be, you know, like a past situation if this is a past person coming back around. You're getting, if you're dealing with an air sign, I don't want to let you go. I find you so attractive. Fate, this is a destined partnership. I feel you even though we are apart. I want to be more than friends. You were the best thing in my life. And two more. Leap of faith. It's safe to make the move you're considering, and I want to make amends. Pisces. All right. This is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love you guys to pieces, and I thank you so, so much for joining me. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.